What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to analyze the tape of Lukas Van Ness, who got so much better as the season went on last season. A guy that showed so many traits. He's a guy that I think has major upside to become a really, really good football player. He's a guy that I'm actually very excited to watch as we go into the second season of this guy's career. We're going to get into what this guy kind of improved on as the season went on. Very, very excited for it. Let's just start right away with his hand-to-hand pass rush technique, which I think was the biggest thing that I needed to see from this guy coming out of Iowa last season and going into his first season in the NFL. And as the season went on last season, we definitely saw more of that from him. Here's a great example of something he did against Colton McKivitz, the starting right tackle of the 49ers. And you're going to get Van Ness to ultimately end up getting past the right tackle on this one. And you guys see how he kind of does it. But to me, this is just a really, really good job to use the hands. First and foremost, Van Ness has to defend the run. They're obviously jump setting this. You can see 68 kind of reaches to the right. Van Ness recognizes it pretty quickly. And then look at him lock in with McKivitz. And then the right hand, he's going to end up pulling McKivitz downwards. That's a good job right there with the power. It's a good job being able to pull a guy down. Left arm comes over the top. That allows him to get skinny and just kind of gain that leverage to get over the top. And with that, he's going to pressure the quarterback. The quarterback gets the ball out. And you get a gain of no yards on this one. But you're going to once again see on this other play against the Vikings, Van Ness basically does the same exact thing to Christian Darrisaw, where he's going to end up using his hands to beat Christian Darrisaw. And again, if you're going to get to the quarterback and you're going to consistently get there, the way you're going to do that is by using your hands, right? You got to be able to pass rush. You got to be able to double hand swipe, swim, rip. You got to be able to have all the tools within the toolbox to be an effective pass rusher. One of the ways guys bust out in the NFL is if they just never develop the pass rush technique, the ability to break contact when guys kind of get in with you. This play here is a great example of Van Ness kind of showing that he's able to kind of break contact. Here's Christian Darrisaw, one of the best left tackles in the NFL. Darrisaw is going to end up grabbing the face mask. But within that, as he ends up grabbing the face mask right there, you're going to see the defense bend with the right hand swat down the hand of Christian Darrisaw right there. He ends up swatting and it's kind of hard to see. But you can see Van Ness with the right hand right there is going to swat the hand down. And now Christian Darrisaw with his hand swatted is going to try to recover and get into Van Ness. And the thing with Van Ness is a very, very strong football player. So tight ends, tackles, guards are not going to be able to lock in with Van Ness because oftentimes he's tossing people to the side. Right? He's oftentimes bigger and stronger than people. And on this one here, he is able to get in there and help bring the quarterback down. But this is another example of what Lukas Van Ness does, right? He'll use his hands, and if it's not there, if he doesn't win right away, then he'll turn it into, well, maybe I can toss a guy to the side. And we kind of saw that on that last play with McKivitz where he pulled him down. But check this next play out here. He's going to end up beating the rookie tackle, Wanya Morris. Very, very solid football player. Should be the starting tackle for the Chiefs this season. You're going to see him utilize another move. Now, he's going to try a 1-2 on this one, and he's going to end up getting to the quarterback. To me, this is a high-quality win for Lukas Van Ness. You know, sometimes you'll get a sack through effort. Other times, you'll have to use your pass rush technique to break contact and get past guys. Now, on this one, what Van Ness is going to end up doing is, initially, he's going to get both hands to Wanya Morris. And this is one of the things that Van Ness does a lot, is he locks in first and foremost with guys. He tries pushing guys back a little bit. But you do see the left hand here rip, and really that rip right there, him getting that left hand underneath the armpit of Wanya Morris, and then with that have the strength to break the contact, right? Once you end up ripping, once you end up getting that hand in there underneath the armpit, the way Lukas Van Ness does here, it's very hard for a tackle to recover from that, right? And then with the left hand, look at him kind of lifted upwards. He's able to break that contact. He gets the quarterback. Just a really nice job utilizing the different pass rush moves, right? Again, when the season went on and on and on, we started to see this guy flash a little bit more. And it was one of the things I wanted to see from him. Now, his pass rush technique is not perfect, right? He does utilize the bull rush. He does utilize power a ton. And that's okay, especially at his size. But I do want to continue to see this guy add more pass rush tools, right? More pass rush technique. And that's one of the good things with Van Ness is athletically, he's super gifted. Physically, super gifted. And the pass rush technique, you can see little glimpses of it, right? On this play here, he's going to use power. But if you guys keep an eye on the left hand, he's going to try to chop down Colton McKivitz with the left hand right there. Now, it does miss. He doesn't actually time it correctly. He doesn't actually end up using that hand and doing anything with it. But I do like the fact that he is throwing the swipes. He is throwing the punches. He is doing things that are going to allow him to have success. Right. And I also like the fact that if it doesn't work, he oftentimes plays with great leverage and is able to, move people with that power and strength and that quickness and that speed. A couple years back, I talked to Colton Miller, the tackle of the Las Vegas Raiders, and he told me the hardest player to block was Myles Garrett. And the reason why it was so hard to block Myles Garrett was the fact that with Garrett, it's very, very hard to know what this guy's going to do because he's so quick, he's so strong, he's so fast, he's bendy, and he's long and he's athletic. And with Lukas Van Ness, he's so similar to Myles Garrett. Now, he may not be as bendy and as twitchy as Myles Garrett, but Van Ness is going to be one of those guys that's going to be very hard to block as he continues to develop because he has a fantastic athletic profile, right? And I think it's the reason why the Green Bay Packers wanted this guy because he is super, super, super gifted athletically. Take this play right here against the Dallas Cowboys as an example. Lukas Van Ness is going to end up getting the sack, but honestly, he should not have. To me, this was a losing rep by Lukas Van Ness, at least early on. But he does something that I don't know how he really does. So within this play, you guys see Tyron Smith's going to end up snatching down Lukas Van Ness. So you're going to see here, Van Ness gets the hands to the inside. Tyron Smith pulls him forward. He breaks the contact. And Van Ness should have technically fell forward. His face should have been in the dirt. But he does an absolute freakish thing. And he somehow drops his hand and he ends up staying up, which is absolutely insane. And not only does he stay up, but he ends up grabbing onto the quarterback. To me, that's an absolutely incredible thing right there by Van Ness. But this is what you get with this guy, right? This is a part of that athletic profile. It's a part of that, freakish ability and freakish build that Van Ness has. And again, he has to develop, but he's one of those guys that's very difficult to block. Tight ends will struggle blocking this guy. Offensive linemen will struggle to block this guy. This guy will consistently be getting around the quarterback. And what's crazy with Van Ness is he's still raw, right? He's like 20% of the pass rusher that I think he will be down the line. Now, here's another thing that you're going to notice with Van Ness. This one here is more so of him using his athletic ability. He's going to try to actually cross-chop Terrence Steele, and it doesn't really work that well. I think this is one of those moves that you're not going to really see from him that often if you've watched his tape. And it doesn't work, honestly, because he probably really hasn't practiced it a whole ton, but he has added it to his game, right? So what he's trying to do with this play is he's trying to fake to the inside. He's going to do what is referred to as a hezzy. It's really just that quick step towards the inside. It's a quick movement. It's to make the tackle feel like you're going to go to the inside. Does it right there, right? He's faking to the inside. With that, he needs to then jump to the outside, and then with his inside hand, he needs to try to swat the outside hand of the tackle. And it really doesn't work, right? He ends up missing the punch with that inside hand. But because he's so strong, he's so fast, he ends up beating Terrence Steele here, who, Terrence Steele makes like $15 million a year. The guy's a really, really good tackle. Now, Steele did have an ACL injury, and this was his first year back, but Terrence Steele was one of the better right tackles in the NFL just 2 years ago. And Lukas Van Ness is a rookie coming in, trying to cross-chop, right? He's trying to utilize different moves, but even though the cross-chop doesn't work, because he's so athletic and he's so strong, Terrence Steele ends up not being able to stop Lukas Van Ness, right? And you really see that power. You see him, when the cross-chop ends up failing, he's going to rip with the right arm right there, right? He's going to end up locking in with Terrence Steele. So he goes from that first move that fails, and then he turns it into a second move, which is going to be that rip move. And then Terrence Steele's not strong enough to push Lukas Van Ness upfield. Instead, he kind of breaks the contact and he does pressure the quarterback. To me, that's a really, really nice winning rep by Van Ness. Let's go ahead and get into the next snap. Just to kind of stick with the athletic pass rush ability that this guy has, if you guys look at this play, he's going to end up running a defensive line game. He's going to get a sack here. I believe that's Devontae Wyatt that he runs the game with. Just a really, really, really good job here. So one of the things you're going to notice with this guy is he's athletic, right? He changes direction really, really, really well. I mean, this is such a hard thing to do for a guy his size. The way he's able to change direction, you can see Tristan Wirfs is going to struggle. He's not going to end up making contact. Great job here by Wyatt to take that 2-for-1 there. And that does free up Van Ness, who ends up coming around and getting to the quarterback. That's just a really, really nice job right there by those two guys. But this play is not made if the defensive end here doesn't have the quickness to change direction, if he isn't fast enough to see the game, if he doesn't run it properly. This doesn't work. But you do see Van Ness with the change of direction. He's able to put that right foot into the ground. To me, just a really, really nice job once again by Lukas Van Ness. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Now, of course, Van Ness has absolutely incredible power. Especially against the run. He's one of those guys that's very, very difficult to block. And I do want to switch focus and just kind of get into his run defense a little bit. You know, if you're going to line up your tight end and you're going to try to block Van Ness, it's usually not going to work too well as an offense. Van Ness is strong. He's powerful. He's physical at the point of attack. And I think if you look at a guy like Van Ness, that's kind of what you would expect from his size. And again, we talked a little bit about his pass rush. The guy has pass rush ability, right? The guy can get after it a little bit. Obviously, he'll have to continue to develop and he'll have to fine tune it. But that's 100% coachable, right? That's something you practice in the offseason. One of the things you can't practice in the offseason, at least in my opinion, you really can't make that much of an impact, even if you work out, is you can't get this type of strength where he takes the tight end, makes contact with him, and just straight up crushes this guy. And he basically blows this entire play up. To me, this is such an incredible job, and he does this pretty much on every single play. If you're a tight end that is trying to block Lukas Van Ness, you're not going to be able to do it. I think there's very, very, very few tight ends that have a shot blocking this guy. Lukas Van Ness is one of those guys that knows how to use his hands against the run. He does a great job getting both hands into this guy. He creates the separation, right? He bench presses the tight end off. Let me go back to the all-22 angle so you can see it a little bit better. You can see him bench press right there. So you see him create that separation. He gets his eyes into the backfield. And with that, it's very hard to move this guy. Right? And he's able to get off the block. He tosses the tight end and he gets in there and he makes the play. Now, being strong is one thing, but being able to move as well is a completely different thing. On this one here, the 49ers thought that they could run some sort of split zone look back towards Van Ness. Now, on this one, not only does he end up going underneath Kittle, but he ends up getting the play, right? So to me, this is just a really, really incredible job by Van Ness. He used the quickness to avoid the block, and he gets in there and he wraps up the running back, and he ends up bringing him down for just a gain of about a yard. It's a pretty nice job like right there. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. You got another play here. Van Ness does a really, really good job against the tight end. He's going to really set the front side gap. He's going to get off the block, come back underneath, and he's going to make the play. Now, this is exactly how you want to play these zone runs. So the offense here is going to come out, and they're really just trying to push Van Ness outwards as much as they can. For Van Ness, his responsibility is to make contact with this guy and hold the ground. Do not let the tight end push you backwards. And if you're able to, not only hold the outside gap, but also get off the block and come underneath it, if it's possible. With this play, it is possible. He's going to get both hands on the tight end. Physical. You see him really have that leverage, both hands to the inside of the tight end. And the running back's not going to be able to hit this to the outside. And the guys on the inside do a good job as well holding their gaps. And Van Ness comes underneath and he blows it up once again. Right? So you see the power that Van Ness has, right? As a tight end, you're going to struggle to block this guy. But it's not just tight ends, right? Offensive linemen will struggle as well. Take this next play here as an example against the Falcons. This is a really, really nice job by Van Ness to just straight up shoot the gap. He also ends up utilizing the rip move with the left arm. We'll slow this down here. But that rip move right there, that's going to break the contact of the right tackle. So you see him really get that arm in there. He's going to break that contact. And there's just no leverage in that for that right tackle. So that's just a really good job by Van Ness to get past that. Chris Lindstrom's not able to get on top of it. And he ends up blowing this play up. This one lost about 1 to 2 yards. Just a really, really nice job by Van Ness. You got another one here. Wanya Morris is going to struggle to stay connected to Van Ness on this one. Same thing. You got a zone run. And he's going to just toss the tackle to the side, right? He's going to just get right off the block. He's going to get right in there and he's going to help make the play. But again, for his responsibility specifically, right, he does a great job with the hands. He's going to shut down the outside lane. Not only does he shut the outside lane down, but he's going to toss the tackle to the side, right? He's going to get the tackle off of him, and he's going to get right in there to help make the play. All right, so again, Van Ness is once again defending the run. And that's one of the things that you already see with Van Ness, right? He is arguably the best defensive lineman in terms of run defending from this past season. And it's a big part of the fact that he's strong. But not only is he strong, he's very, very fast. He moves well. He changes direction well. Right? Everything about Van Ness to me shows that this guy's going to become a really, really good football player. But he will have to develop the hands. But once he does actually develop the hands, once he does develop the pass rush technique, which I think he will this season, the guy's going to be an absolute beast. I'm very, very excited for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, consider subscribing. And I will see you guys next time with another video.